Today I'm testing the new DUOTTS F20 to see if it really lives up to the hype. I'll be putting it through 5 key tests: power, comfort, braking, suspension, and finally, range. By the end of this video, you'll know whether it's really worth your money. So let's stop talking and get it started. First test: power. The F20 comes with a 1000 watt motor and 70 Nm of torque on paper. Out of the box, mine was limited to 25 km per hour, but for this test, I unlocked it to see what it can really do. And right away, you feel it. Acceleration is quick, the launch is punchy, and on throttle alone it feels closer to a small electric motorcycle than a typical e-bike. I'm not getting into the legal side here. This is purely about performance. So, I took it somewhere it actually matters: hills. The manufacturer claims it can handle up to a 30-degree incline. But let's be honest, that's not enough for a real test. Let's try something tougher. Alright, grass slope, pretty steep. Let's see how it handles it. Wow, almost there.
Not bad.
Okay, that's impressive. Let's try a less aggressive angle. And
I made it, yeah! Worked!
That's a very solid result. I'm using pedal assist level 5 here, and it climbs without hesitation. For everyday riding, even in a hilly city, this thing is an absolute beast. It can handle up to 150 kilograms, and that rear rack is actually useful if you need to carry some cargo. The motor isn't from a big-name brand, but honestly, performance speaks for itself. For power, this gets a 5 out of 5. Second test: comfort. Alright, let's talk comfort. The DUOTTS F20 is a moped-style e-bike, so you've gotta keep your expectations in check. This thing isn't made for long pedaling rides, and yeah, you'll notice that pretty quickly. Yes, it has pedals, and they'll definitely help if you run out of battery. You also get a Shimano Tourney 7-speed drivetrain, which works fine, up to about 25 km per hour. After that, it's mostly ghost pedaling. I'm 178 centimeters, and just sitting on the bike feels great. The handlebar position is comfortable, posture is relaxed, but once you start actually pedaling, the leg extension feels a bit cramped, pretty typical for this category. DUOTTS says it's suitable for riders between 170 and 200 centimeters. I'd say it works best for average or slightly shorter riders. If you're taller, it might start to feel a bit off. Now, how is it in real use? Most of the time, I rode it in pedal assist level 5, with minimal pedaling, and in that scenario, it's genuinely comfortable. The ride is stable, smooth, and surprisingly easy to handle for a 38 kilograms bike. But the real highlight here is the saddle. It's more like a small motorcycle seat, wide, soft, and very well finished. The faux leather feels premium, and you can tell it was designed specifically for this bike. On longer rides, it makes a big difference. You also get cruise control, which you can enable through the display settings. Hold a steady speed for about 10 seconds and it kicks in perfectly. Honestly, it's a feature I really appreciate. To round things out, it comes with 20x4 all-terrain Kenda tires, mirrors, and a suspension system, which I'll test properly in a moment. Overall, for comfort, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Third test: brakes. All that power means nothing if you can't stop safely. The F20 comes with dual piston hydraulic disc brakes and 180mm rotors. And honestly, they deliver. I weigh around 80 kilograms, and in my tests, the bike stopped confidently every time. I did most of my braking tests at 25 kilometers per hour, but even at higher speeds, you can feel there's plenty of stopping power. The setup is simple: front brake on the left, rear on the right. Both are easy to modulate and can be operated comfortably with just 2 fingers. They're also well tuned out of the box, and you get motor inhibitors, so as soon as you brake, the motor cuts off instantly. That adds an extra layer of control and safety. For best results, always use both brakes together, especially for emergency stops. Bottom line: strong, reliable, and predictable. For braking, this gets a 5 out of 5. Fourth test: suspension. The DUOTTS F20 is a full suspension e-bike, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. Up front, you get an entry-level suspension fork with no adjustments. What you see is what you get. At the rear, things are slightly better. The shock has a basic pressure adjustment, but no lockout. So how does it actually perform? Starting with the front, I didn't expect much, and that's pretty much what you get. It does absorb bumps, especially on rough surfaces like cobblestone or uneven streets, but it feels a bit too soft, and since there's no adjustment, you're stuck with that setup. The rear shock does most of the work. It handles impacts well, even on small drops or jumps, and that makes a noticeable difference in overall comfort. For everyday city riding, the suspension does the job well. It helps smooth out bumps and makes the ride more comfortable. But if you're after a more refined setup with better adjustability and responsiveness, that's definitely something worth upgrading. Overall, for suspension, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Alright, let's test. Range. The F20 comes with a 52 volts, 27 amp hours, tank-style battery. You can charge it either on or off the bike, which is very convenient. It's mounted centrally in the frame, and that actually helps with balance while riding. That 52 volt setup is a big plus. You don't usually see this kind of voltage in this price range, and it definitely contributes to the bike's strong performance. On paper, the claimed range is around 130 to 140 kilometers. But let's be real, that's under ideal condition. Here's how I actually tested it. Most of the time, I rode in pedal assist level 5, carrying around 100 kilograms total with my gear. I barely pedaled and pushed the bike close to its electric-only limits. On top of that, steep hills, off-road sections, and very cold weather. Pretty much the opposite of a perfect scenario. And the result? 62 kilometers on a single charge. Yes, it falls short of the claimed range, but honestly, that's a very solid result considering how hard I pushed it. I was doing repeated sprints at 44 kilometers per hour. That's the unlocked top speed and riding aggressively most of the time. If you ride more conservatively, lower assist levels, some pedaling, flatter terrain, you get significantly more range than I did. So overall, realistic performance, not marketing numbers. For range, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Before we get into price and the special discount, I have to say, the DUOTTS F20 really surprised me. I love the retro design. The aluminum alloy frame feels solid and well built, and it actually stands out compared to other moped-style e-bikes on the market. The main display is colorful, bright, and works nicely with the mobile app for extra convenience. My only gripe? I couldn't get the GPS navigation to work, which is a bit of a bummer. The lights are great. The headlight is powerful, and the tail light includes braking alerts and side signals. But here's something that could be better. The light controls aren't integrated into the main display. I keep forgetting to turn the headlight or signal lights on. It would be perfect if future updates added icons on the display, like the braking indicator. At this price point, you're getting a really solid moped-style e-bike, well-built, great-looking, and genuinely fun to ride. Unboxing and assembling the F20 was a breeze, as you can see in this video. It even comes with all the necessary tools, mudguards, and a phone holder. And if you're ready to pick one up, I've got a special deal for you. The DUOTTS F20 is 1,349 euros, and with the code BK42F20 at checkout, you'll get 100 euros off, plus free shipping, a 2-year warranty, and a 30 days return policy if you're not satisfied.
Alright, that's it folks. Thanks for watching and as always, keep riding!